You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, Black and White Sports fans, let's talk about the University of Pennsylvania, aka UPenn. Now, news came down yesterday that UPenn was actually rectifying what they actually did in 2022 when they allowed a male swimmer by the name of Will Thomas, then identifying as Leah Thomas, to join the UPenn women's swimming team. Now, he had already swam on the men's team for a couple of years. He wasn't very good. He was ranked almost like 500. But when he decided, you know what, I'm not good enough to compete against the men and jumped over to the women, he set school records. And also, he stole an NCAA title. Now, UPenn, because the Trump administration wasn't playing around, guys, they said, we're coming after you if you actually violated federal law, Title IX. And there was no doubt about it, guys. UPenn and some other schools as well, they violated Title IX. Women had no shot because a 6-foot male was allowed inside the locker room, guys, which I believe is even worse than him actually beating them in swimming. Because when you allow a male who gets off being naked in front of women in the locker room, that is a major problem. That is a major violation of privacy for women. Women had to strip down naked in front of this man. And UPenn did nothing about it. They were basically calling their swimmers bigots if they didn't like it. This is what wokeness does, folks. But this country is healing itself of wokeness. The wokeness during the Biden years, man, was off the charts. And now the Democrat Party and leftists, they don't even know what a woman is. We actually have a Supreme Court justice, folks, that said she didn't know what a woman was, despite actually being a woman herself. This is how crazy the Democrat Party is. Well, even though UPenn came out and acknowledged, yeah, we're going to amend our rules and sports teams will be based on biological sets. And Will Thomas will be stripped of all records and titles. But guess what, folks? Even with that being said, they still found a way to insult women, even though they actually updated the records. Let's go ahead and get into it. So right over here, guys, on Outkick, UPenn updates swimming records after Title IX violations, still acknowledges Leah Thomas with special note. Yet, even though they stripped them of the records, they still let it be known we don't care. For the left, man, they just don't go away, man. They really don't. It says here, the University of Pennsylvania has updated its women's swimming records to restore titles and accomplishments for female athletes. Yet, in comically predictable fashion, the liberal university's record book added a special note highlighting the records transgender swimmer Leah Thomas set during the 2021-22 season while competing on the women's team. Yeah. This doesn't make any sense, man. And you know what? I don't know why UPenn even gets federal dollars. I mean, they got something like over $1 billion from the federal government, and their endowment is over $22 billion. Yes, folks, $22 billion with a B. They got so much money, man, they don't even need to charge tuition. But anyway, the Department of Education announced on July 1st that UPenn had agreed to resolve Title IX violations related to Thomas's participation on a women's swimming team. Restoring stolen records to female athletes was a piece of the resolution deal. However, the university found a workaround to restore those records while still acknowledging the transgender swimmer who stole records from women and got the program into the ridiculous mess to begin with. The UPenn women's swimming record book was updated on July 1st based on the updated URL that contains the date, and Thomas is still listed as a member of the 400-meter free relay team that set a school record time of 3:17:80, while a special note was added to the bottom of the page. Yeah, because right over here, man, you still have right here, Leah Will Thomas, the page is still there. Okay? 2021-22, still acknowledging that he was on this team. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. Look here. Says here for 2021-22, NCAA champion in the 500 free. Finished 5th in the 200 free and 8th in the 100 free to earn first team All-American honors in those events. Ivy League champion in the 100 free. Ivy League champion in the 200 free. Ivy League champion in the 500 free. High point swimmer of the meet at the Ivy League championships. Part of Penn's 400 free relay that won an Ivy League title with a program record. And they mentioned the time right there. Part of Penn's 400 free relay that set a program record at the Ivy League championship with that time right there. You guys can see set program records in the 100 free, et cetera, et cetera. Wow. This is ridiculous. However, right over here, they actually mentioned right here the UPenn women's swimming all-time school records by event. And they have the event, the time, the swimmer's name, and the year. Okay? Now, on most all these, they actually have the women's full name right there. But right here on this 400 free relay right here, it says Thomas. That just has the last names right there with 3 other names right there from 2022. However, right here, the note says competing under eligibility rules in effect at the time, Leah Thomas set program records in the 100, 200, and 500 freestyle during the 2021-22 season. So even though they supposedly took him off the record books, he's still on the record books. They're still acknowledging this. This is an insult, folks, to women. And I know that I guess there was a generic email that went out because I saw where Paula Scanlon actually posted on X. I don't think it was necessarily, I think it was like an automated email where they were actually acknowledging what was going on. This is insane. Yeah, and I do believe that's actually the school record still right there because it says 3:17:80, and when you go over here, it does have, yeah, that's it right there. So they still have acknowledge Will Thomas right there. But they put other women's names right next to him. They worked around this, folks. This is still a big insult to women. This is insane. But I'm not surprised, man. I'm really, really not surprised. Even though they have actually acknowledged, yeah, we're going to change our rules. But in typical leftist fashion, they work around it. Now, they need to wipe the name of Leah Thomas off their website. This person was ineligible. This person should have never been on the roster. What a slap in the face, man. What a complete slap in the face. So we're still going to continue to call this out, man. We really, really are. So gonna leave it right there, guys. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.